Brace the rudders! Raise the sails! Raise the sails!
Captain, an unidentified ship is approaching. Over.
Roger. Wait, is that an enterprise sales solution?
Reach sales professionals, not professional sailors. With LinkedIn ads, you can target the right people by industry, job title, and more. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Get started today at linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply.
Abercrombie denim is everything right now. Denim should feel like this. Confident, easy, like your butt has never looked better. If you didn't know, Abercrombie's Curve Love denim went viral in 2019 for eliminating waist gap, and it's still a game changer. Between that and their classic fits with a straighter line from waist to hip, the perfect denim does exist. Shop Abercrombie denim in the app, online, and in store.
This is Optimal Work Daily: How to Identify and Deal with Toxic Employees by Kalen Bruce of MoneyMiniBlog.com. Incivility in the meeting room. A coworker hogging credit for another's work. Gossip by the coffee machine. Workplace toxicity is poisonous to business. It hinders collaboration. It severs communication. It corrodes work environments. The conflict that arises from toxic employees negatively impacts productivity, retention, and business. Yet the CIPD reported that 38% of employees in the UK had experienced interpersonal conflict in the past 12 months at the time of their survey. This should worry organizations. Because of the importance of relationships to productivity, toxicity is something all organizations should strive to avoid. But it's not always so easy. On one hand, toxic employees can be difficult to spot. On the other hand, the problem of a toxic employee can be labyrinthine to navigate. Luckily, HR can help managers strike the balance and approach the black mist that is toxicity head-on, especially with the help of HR management software from Cezanne. This article aims to discuss toxicity, what it is, what distinguishes toxic workers from negative ones, as well as how to identify them before resolving the issue entirely. Identifying toxic behavior. Toxicity isn't easy to define. Toxic is not a synonym for a difficult colleague. A toxic employee does not just amount to a worker that undermines, bullies, or talks down colleagues. That's only half the story. Toxic refers to the spread of this behavior, being replicated by other employees as a result of the toxic employee's influence or example. The transference of this negativity in a business represents its failure to recognize and resolve it. At its heart, toxicity is a symptom of communication failure. Toxicity in colleagues might manifest in the form of gossip, yes men and yes women, procrastinators, excuse makers, narcissists, and presenteeism, all of which are signs that point towards organizational culture misalignment, which can stem from several factors. For instance, a manager might be so focused on driving results that they fail to see what's going on right under their nose. Colleagues might witness toxic behavior but fail to act, perhaps due to fear of the repercussions of speaking out, in turn perpetuating the spread of poison. A toxic employee might be a top performer, making it difficult to call attention to their behavior. A Cornerstone on-demand study found good employees are 54% more likely to quit when they work with a toxic employee. Said study also demonstrates that toxic employees are very financially costly for an organization. If employees replicate bad behavior, the bar lowers. When that happens, the line between minor counterproductive work practices like impoliteness and more serious acts like harassment thins significantly. Resolving toxicity has to begin with repairing company culture, creating an environment with open lines of communication from the top down. How to deal with toxic employees. Toxicity leads to decreased productivity, reduced engagement, low morale, and increased turnover. Removing toxicity involves the reforming of the toxic employee's behavior or building a solid case that evidences sufficient grounds to remove the employee. The approach to dealing with toxic employees should be measured yet firm. On the one hand, you should aim to give them the opportunity to change, notifying them of their behavior and offering them the resources to improve. On the other hand, if they fail to change, then more serious but necessary solutions must be considered. In the first measure, it's paramount to get to the root of the problem. Very often, toxic behavior stems from poor mental health, which might be caused by personal life struggles, frustration with career development, and/or workplace stress and burnout. The answer to situations like these can be found in allocating resources such as counseling or even something as simple as time off. Regardless, it's very important for the toxic employee to be made aware of their behavior and its impact on their colleagues. Very often, they are totally oblivious to their behavior, and sometimes all it takes is for them to be notified of their behavior for them to stop. So it's critical to be forthright from the outset of your strategy. This means explaining clearly the impact on productivity, collaboration, and overall business, taking care not to turn the situation into a spectacle and not to aggravate it. Establish a clear, measurable, and achievable goal, allowing them to improve their behavior. At the same time, you should look for ways to minimize their interactions with other team members, to work on healing any damaged lines of communication across teams, and to rebuild trust. This might mean shifting desks, shuffling project duties, being flexible about remote working, or other simple means that could see improvement. In the second measure, it will regrettably be the case that some employees can't or won't alter their toxic behavior, and the stick will prove a more apt, if less glamorous, solution than the carrot. It's important to monitor how much time you spend on the hypothetical improvement of toxic employees, ensuring you don't let yourself get distracted or indeed poisoned by dealing with them. Protecting your organization from toxicity. It only takes one person to stand up and to speak about hostile and damaging behavior. Maintaining a culture where people aren't afraid to speak up on workplace toxicity can be the most helpful strategy in counterbalancing it. Organizations should aim to create a culture where people are free to speak up, whether it's about toxic behavior, stress, or organizational wrongdoings. HR and seniors can lead by example here by helping foster open, honest conversations that need to take place in organizations, demonstrating clearly that toxic behavior won't be tolerated. Managers should understand how difficult it can be for people to speak up to them. Employees will always think carefully about what they say and will only disclose what they determine appropriate. On the subject of role modeling, the old proverb, "the fish rots from the head," is invaluable to remember. The behaviors by seniors and managers will be replicated by employees, the bad and the good. So it is paramount that their behavior is also in line with positive culture. Embracing the trend towards more regular, informal check-ins can help pave the way for honest and more frequent discussions between managers and their teams. Having a culture with good, effective communication channels will invariably help. HR systems like Cezanne HR allow you to make use of regular employee surveys and employee forums, as well as check-in support tools to tap into the views of employees. This will make them feel heard and that they have the agency to speak out and call attention to poor behavior whenever it arises. Toxicity is the death of business, but beyond a business case, its pervasion simply creates a workplace environment that is unbearable for those within it. It's a dual challenge to identify a toxic employee and to then establish a plan to approach the problem head-on. You just listened to the post titled "How to Identify and Deal with Toxic Employees" by Kalen Bruce of MoneyMiniBlog.com.
Eczema isn't always obvious, but it's real. And so is the relief from Ebglyss. After an initial dosing phase, about 4 in 10 people taking Ebglyss achieved itch relief and clear or almost clear skin at 16 weeks. And most of those people maintain skin that's still more clear at 1 year with monthly dosing.
Ebglyss, lebrikizumab LBKZ, a 250 milligram per 2 milliliter injection, is a prescription medicine used to treat adults and children 12 years of age and older who weigh at least 88 pounds or 40 kilograms with moderate to severe eczema, also called atopic dermatitis, that is not well controlled with prescription therapies used on the skin or topicals, or who cannot use topical therapies. Ebglyss can be used with or without topical corticosteroids. Don't use if you're allergic to Ebglyss. Allergic reactions can occur that can be severe. Eye problems can occur. Tell your doctor if you have new or worsening eye problems. You should not receive a live vaccine when treated with Ebglyss. Before starting Ebglyss, tell your doctor if you have a parasitic infection.
Searching for real relief? Ask your doctor about Ebglyss and visit ebglyss.lilly.com or call 1-800-LILY-RX or 1-800-545-5979.
This message is sponsored by Greenlight. With school out, summer is the perfect time to teach our kids real-world money skills they'll use forever. Greenlight is a debit card and the #1 family finance and safety app used by millions of families, helping kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely. Parents can send their kids money and track their spending and saving, while kids build money confidence and skills in fun ways. Start your risk-free Greenlight trial today at greenlight.com/Spotify. That's greenlight.com/Spotify.
And a big thanks to Kalen Bruce. He is the creator of Money Mini Blog, and he and his wife had $24,000 of debt, and they wanted out, so he became a student of finances. Well, now they're debt-free and building wealth, and he shares what he's learned over the years with you on moneyminiblog.com, and you can show him some support by checking out that site. But I think that does it for today. I thank you so much for being a subscriber and for being here with me today. Hope you have a great one, and I'll see you back here tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.